but how are you?
Oh, I'm good. Yeah. Um, yeah, everything's fine. Just woke up about 20 minutes ago. Still half asleep.
Where are
Um,
you?
in Girona,
Yeah.
in my kitchen room thing. Um, yeah, it's all good.
Yeah,
Sunny
good.
today here in Girona, so it's looking like a sitting on the balcony in running shorts tanning day. So
Yeah.
yeah, bit of swifting. Life's pretty slow and simple at the moment. Too fair.
How are you how are you doing? Like mentally, how are you going? How are you
Yeah.
finding it?
Yeah, it's funny. It's I think uh, I'm definitely learning a lot about how to stay sane and just put things in perspective, I guess. It's
Yeah.
definitely challenging. Like there's some days where you can't really sleep properly because you haven't really gone outside of your apartment, so it's hard to kind of close off the day when you haven't done a whole lot outside of it. But it's alright. The uncertainty of, I mean, just having a boring uh, day is one thing, but as an athlete, not to know when races are coming up and all that is obviously a space I've never been in. So it's been interesting to see how my brain works with regards to kind of reshuffling my daily goals and whatnot.
What are the rules at the moment?
In Girona,
Yeah.
you're only really allowed to go to the supermarket and the pharmacy. Otherwise, you've got to kick it in your apartment. Um, and yeah, the police have the right to ask where you are, what you're doing, and if you're in relation to like if you're close to home. If you're away from your apartment, like a few k, then you're going to get a fine most likely, just because there's no reason for you to be walking to the fourth furthest Coles, for example, than going to the yeah.
And so that courtyard you've been running around,
Oh yeah.
that's your house or your place.
Yeah, so I'm on the second floor, and the lower three-level apartments have access to this like tennis court terrace kind of size thing.
Yeah.
And luckily, my landlord said it's fine for me to use also, so I just jumped down the stairs and cut laps.
Yeah, we're not.
Sort of grim reality, isn't it?
So what I'm trying to do is I think I bought this adapter which was meant to connect to my microphone, which was meant to connect to my phone, but that hasn't worked. So here we are with the AirPods. So I'm going to try and record the podcast now on.
Did you want me to put my headphones in, like my
Have you
AirPods
have
in?
you got them with you?
Yeah. Would it sound
Yeah, that'd
better?
be good. Yeah, it'll sound better. So if anyone's got any questions, put them in that comment box below. And yeah, the idea is I can rip the audio from this and turn into a podcast, and then also have a bit of Insta Live as well.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
And we got one
Can you
question. We got
can
one
you hear
question
me
I
all right?
can hear. Yeah, I can
Yeah.
hear it. It's good. From WD Samson, did the team give you the option to come home?
The team gave the option for any rider to go anywhere they wanted. Obviously, every rider was assessing the situation as to go whether to go back home or not and spend time with family. I know all the Americans went back. You saw TJ Van Garderen go back halfway through Paris-Nice. He pulled out of the race halfway through and went back to his family. But yeah, I obviously decided to stay here in Girona. Yeah, whether that was the right decision or not, waiting to kind of work that one out. Hopefully, we will be able to ride outside soon. I mean, that's the biggest thing
Yeah.
that's changing my life at the moment.
Are you still considering it?
Not really. Now, in fact, you kind
No.
of in for the long haul. I think if
Yeah.
there was an opportunity before, pretty much before they put the 2-week lockdown on a hotel, I don't really want to do that to myself, I think.
Yeah, that'd be a long time.
Particularly as we get closer here to riding outside. Yeah. And yeah, I think I kind of found it hard to leave Girona when I've spent all this time and effort setting up a pretty good setup here. And to leave it and go back to Australia in the middle of the season, and also go back to an Australia that I wouldn't be able to see my family and friends. I'd probably find that frustrating.
Yeah. And
And
2 weeks in
then,
a hotel would be a pretty long time.
yeah, and then if by the time I've finished up with the hotel, then I'm out here, we're allowed to ride outside, then I'd kind of be like, well, I kind of wish I was over there. But it's kind of like a lose-lose, win-win situation. There's no perfect place to be. But I know there's a lot of riders went back to Australia, but there's still a lot of guys kicking it here in Girona and Andorra also. Just waiting for the government to allow bicycles to go outside.
Yeah, I was talking to Rob Power the other day, who was probably 2 weeks ago now. He was 1 week into his 2 week lockdown in Perth.
Was that a lockdown in a hotel or a lockdown?
In a hotel. He was in Crown, so it wasn't too bad. But he was still in a hotel, and he's like, you can't leave. Any outside connection is excluded, so you can't even go into the hallway of your hotel. And they weren't allowed electronic trainers, so you had rollers.
Wow.
So it sounded pretty grim, but he's laughing now because he can go outside. So
yeah, of course. I mean, once it's done, kudos to him.
So you must be feeling pretty settled and comfortable in Girona.
Yeah. I've got a good little apartment here. I think the last time I did a Stanley Street Social video was actually in my old apartment with Campbell. And I've since moved out of that apartment, and I've moved across town into it's like a K away from the center, basically. And so it's a bit of a bigger apartment, more light. I've got a roommate now, but it's like 120 square meters or something. So it's a proper house. It's still an apartment, but a house size thing. So it's, in terms of being able to do a quarantine, this is a pretty good place to be. I'm not sure I'd be able to be living in a shoebox in Old Town without any natural light. If I was in that situation, I'd be speaking to you from, I don't know, 400 meters away or however far away we live.
And good time to have a housemate too.
Yeah, it's great.
Adam feeling like you Mo.
Oh yeah, and I grow my moustache back. Yeah.
How long's that been growing for?
This is day 6.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty solid.
It's not too bad. Yeah. Not bad for a boy.
We've got a question. What sort of support is the team providing right now?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few, kind of as the weeks go on, there's new things popping up. We have a chiro who provides twice a week is providing like a live video which we can hop on board with, for example, to get us moving.
Like a program.
Yeah, well, like a live stream, like yoga thing, everyone can see each other. But yeah, I mean, we have access to all the management, but I think right now a lot of the riders are keeping to themselves and trying to take care of their own family and kids and everything, I think. But the team was really good with a lot of riders just making sure that they could get to where they wanted to during this time, especially straight after Paris-Nice. There was a lot of uncertainty as to whether riders could get back to where their family was. But obviously I wasn't there. But the team's been good. There's been heaps of communication, but like anyone else, they don't really know the answer to all of this.
Well, no one knows the answer.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Yeah.
How are you finding it training?
I'm kind of a little bit in my honey hole actually, because I've broken 3 wrists over the last 2 years. So I've done some pretty big Zwifting before, and that's essentially what I'm doing at the moment. But obviously the biggest difference right now is that I don't know what I'm training for. So I've never been in this situation where I'm in like the middle of my season, with all this energy and then not knowing when racing is coming, but wanting to stay fit. Like for me, half of this quarantine is if I'm fit, then I'm sane, basically. So that's usually how I work. But I've just been riding the ergo pretty much twice a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been still doing like 16 hours a week on the trainer, which
Are you just riding or Swift races or
first few weeks I
actually
wasn't into the
training?
I'm not doing efforts. I'm doing unstructured stuff. So on Zwift, you can go on the different worlds, and then they've got different climbs. Basically, usually I just try and take the KOM. You have to go pretty hard. And then for the Zwift races, I've been getting into that. So I've actually been hopping on some of the like official Zwift races, which have like live commentary and everything. So that's kind of funny. And you can get pretty into it. At least I do anyway. And been doing some pretty good numbers, because obviously you're super fresh. You just do straight out 20 minutes and then the race is done. You don't usually do that in an actual bike race. But yeah, that's my training. And then also the running, beep test.
There's been a couple of comments about the beep test.
Yeah. Yeah, I just decided
What'd you clock?
17.2 was my last effort.
Jesus. How many goes you had?
Two goes.
And that's off the back of no running for how many years now?
I don't know. 2016.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you do one in 2016?
No, I haven't done one since year 12.
And what did you clock in year 12?
I think I got like low 16s. So it's pretty interesting.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
I think my leg strength is a lot better. So I'm a lot better at changing, like, you know, the half the game is not like the speed. It's the speed to shift position, like direction.
Yeah.
But I've got the perfect surface here. Yeah, it's exactly 20 meters. And then if I put it on Instagram Live, I usually go deeper than I would if no one was watching.
Yeah. Have you got another one in you?
Yeah, I'll do a few more. I mean, if this goes on for another while, then I'll definitely put a few more in. I think trying to get 18 would be a stretch, but just trying to better my score would be good.
Will Richards says you won the state cross country in 2014. Is that correct?
No,
as in correct. you won the VIX?
No, I didn't win the VIX. I think I came third in the VIX champs that year.
What was your event?
In year 12, I think my best performance would have to have been the athletics, the track and field, the 800 and 1500. But, yeah. But yeah, I mean, back to your question, the training side of things, that's pretty much it. Double ergoing a day, doing core, doing squats. So I'm doing 100 squats and 100 ab rollers a day. That's my standard. A beep test here and there, and then
is that just a personal thing, or is that
it's completely personal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's coaching you at the moment?
Yeah. So we have a new in-house coach called Nate Wilson. He's from Colorado, and he worked previously with the under 23 American program. And so he's my coach. He works for EF now, and yeah, he's great. So he's my coach. He's been really good, really detailed, comments on every single thing I do. So it's keeps me accountable, and usually telling me to do less. Yeah.
So what's he saying at the moment? Like what's his recommendations?
Yeah, I mean, usually in a typical situation, he calls the shots. But right now, with all the uncertainty and everything, he's just do what's best for your head, really. And whether that's nothing, whether that's a lot, whether that's a little bit, and then he's just checking in. He knows some riders need structure during this time, so they're still doing actual efforts and zone work. But for me, it's just getting the ticker going, getting his sweat going pretty deep, but nothing too serious. Yeah.
Nothing specific. We got a
Yeah.
question around, were you going for any of the classics, or were you the main man? I guess, what did you have a targeted races that you were the man for?
Yeah, I mean, the races that I was meant to be doing. So I had most of March actually with no racing. So I just had the first French block of racing that I had. And then I was going to go into the Tour of Sicily, which I was going to come in pretty hot for. So I would have been trying to be one of the main guys there.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously that didn't go ahead. And hypothetically, if that kept going through, I would have been then going into the Ardennes. So Flesh, Brabantspil, then Liège and those ones. So that would have been my first proper peak for the season.
Yeah.
And
So Australia was just racing. It wasn't, you weren't flying for it.
no, yeah. I had a completely different lead in. Had to keep a lid on it in Australia with regards to training, which was nice. I meant I wasn't in full training mode, which meant I had more time to be relaxed and spend time with family and all that stuff. But yeah, the main aim was to be coming good for March and April. So I did skip nationals and the TDU for
Euro.
the Corona. Yeah. But obviously that was, looking back at it, I mean, obviously I didn't know this was going to happen. So, but
Without the coronavirus, would you do it again? Like, did you enjoy that process, or did you prefer going full noise for summer?
I don't know. I really enjoyed last year.
And that was
going so full for it.
Yeah, okay.
It's so easy in the Australian context, because you got all the crits, you're back home, you know, back in the space where you're most comfortable. So I think next year I'd be pretty excited if the team says, we're going to see if we can have you humming for TDU. So I'd be pretty G'd over that. But you have to approach it right as well. But
I guess there is something nice around having a European focus, with that realistically being the guts of the season, the guts of your overall year, and what could potentially be the future of your career. It's nice not having that pressure to be flying early doors to try and hang on to it later on down the track.
Yeah, and I think it's a really important thing for me to learn to do is to listen to my body, see how it works, and kind of realize that the European season is the time to be going. And I think the team saw that I needed to put Australia in the back pocket to properly understand that. Because I didn't really properly understand that from because I haven't done it before. So, but it was definitely strange. It's almost a completely different